Next up for us, 1 p.m. Eastern, the New York Giants, 1-3, 1-1 on the road at the Miami Dolphins, 3-1, 1-0 at home. We're at Hard Rock Stadium, Miami Gardens, Florida, 85 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 5 miles per hour. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. We'll move back to the spread, and we'll start there. God, these Giants, how bad did they look? Pinnacle has this at 11.5. Opened up this morning at 10:42 at 11.5. There was an initial move immediately towards the Giants. This got juiced up to minus 116 a couple different times today. It is juiced. It has moved 5 cents in their favor at this 11.5. Let's get over to the total for this one. It's sitting at 50 right now. It opened at 50 as a pick'em. There's been a 5 cent move to the under at 50. Let's get into the cash flow for this spot. We have 92% of the tickets and 96% of the cash on the Miami Dolphins. There's a 0% chance I will join people on that. And I know that they're coming off a loss and they're upset, but it's just those are numbers that really concern me. And now if we see this line move to 13, then you can sit there and be comfortable with where you got your number at 10.5. But it's just I don't want to be with 96% of 92 and 96 respectively. 68% of the tickets and 92% cash on the over. I don't want that. And let's break it down. Giants coming off a disaster on a short week. They looked awful in their 24-3 loss at home to the Seahawks. Danny Dimes, 27 of 34 for 203 yards, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions. One of those interceptions was returned 97 yards for a TD by Devin Witherspoon. He ran 10 times for 66 yards. He fumbled twice. He did only lose one of them. Badly missing Saquon Barkley. Breda ran 14 times for 30 yards. Led receivers catching 5 passes for 48 yards. Where were their skill players on the outside? Nowhere to be found, and maybe that's not their fault. It's Danny Dimes' fault. Wan'Dale Robinson caught 5 for 40. They held the ball for 36 minutes of that game. They held the ball for 36 minutes and only gained 248 total yards. That's very difficult to do. Their lone trip to the red zone ended up with 7 points for the Seahawks on that pick 6. Their offensive line was beyond atrocious. Hearing that Andrew Thomas wasn't in, I probably should have just got out of the bed immediately. So that's 3 straight games that Andrew Thomas has missed with a hamstring injury. Danny Dimes never had any time. Seahawks finished with 11 sacks and 14 quarterback hits. Come on. The defense tried to keep them in it. They held the Seahawks at just 281 yards, held them to 3 of 14 combined on 3rd and 4th down. Seahawks finished just 2 of 4 in the red zone. They couldn't get enough pressure on Geno. 2 sacks, 3 quarterback hits. And their rookie center, John Michael Schmidt's shoulder injury, and tight end backup Daniel Bellinger left the game in the first half with a knee injury. We'll get the update tomorrow. After putting up 70 points in week 3 against the Broncos at home, the Dolphins went up to Orchard Park, New York, and lost 48-20 to the Bills. So, look, I get it. That this would be somewhat of a buy low spot, but I still see a bias with the way everybody's talking about the Dolphins because that 70-point game is very close to everybody's memory. Tua was 25 for 35 for 282 yards, touchdown and a pick. They were just 3 of 10 on 3rd down. They were 0-3 on 4th. The Bills sacked 2 of 4 times. Dolphins had allowed just 1 sack first 3. Tyreek Hill was held to 3 catches for 58 yards. What can you say about Devon Achane? I mean, he's just a monster. 8 carries. It took 8 carries to get to 101 yards and 2 touchdowns. 4th NFL rookie to combine for 6 touchdowns in consecutive games. First since 2012 with Doug Martin. The defense looked awful. I mean, the Bills scored on 8 of their first 9 possessions. That's not including the kneel down at halftime. They were 5 of 6 in the red zone, the Bills. The defense was unable to get enough pressure. I mean, Josh Allen could do whatever he wanted. Andrew Van Ginkel had 2 sacks. The rest of the team had 0 sacks and just 1 quarterback hit. And Teron Armstead is hurt, man. Did you see him limping off the field all banged up? But they've been able to protect until this last game. They've been able to protect to a fine. Jalen Phillips dealing with an oblique injury. He did not play. This is a wild one, and I don't see it as cut and dry like 92% of the public do. Take it away for us here, Troy. Giants, Dolphins.
Yeah, isn't this game so hard not to be biased after what we just seen last night? Jesus Christ. Without the scripted plays in the first 2 series of the game, they just had a complete inability to execute any type of offense. And it reminded me exactly of what we seen in week 1. We watched it live, Jim. We watched Cowboys, Giants. We watched the Giants march right down the field, get in field goal range, get a 4th and short, QB sneak it, get stopped, and then fall apart from there. It's just, I couldn't help but think about that game as I'm watching this game. And I think the announcer even talked about it too. I was like, geez, this reminds me of Cowboys. The announcer starts talking about it. I'm like, this is the Matrix telling me I'm fucked. Sure enough, it's exactly what I was. And then I still decided still decided to lie bet the Giants. It was brilliant. But yeah, sure, Daniel Jones looked awful. There's no doubt about it. But no one's freaking helping him. His offensive line couldn't stop a nosebleed. I mean, they literally were not doing anything out there. Jones was sacked 11 times, 2.8 air yards per attempt. I mean, he looks so uncomfortable in the pocket. It's sickening. And he's going to have PTSD after that last game. You can't forget, you can't forget that what happened. I mean, he snapped the ball when he touched his hands, he was done already. His left tackle was getting beat most of the time, and he had to either scramble for his life or take the sack, which he did 11 damn times. If it wasn't for the Giants' pass rush, the Giants, they would be the last team in my power rankings. That's 100% true. I knew regression was going to come for this team. I just didn't think it would.
Looks like we might have lost Troy here for a second. Let's pull him out and see if we can get him back in. But I know what he was going to say there. He said he didn't think it would be this dramatic. I mean, my goodness. Who would have thought they'd be this horrible? So for those of you who want to go up against the public, which is a situation that I understand, I would wait. The public's going to keep hammering this Dolphin spot. And for those of you that like the under, like Skydragon, I get it. And Skydragon doesn't just like the under. He says that he loves the under. He says he gets Miami can score 40, but the Giants aren't an over team. They struggle to do anything on offense. If Miami is a big lead, the spread suggests they have no reason to run up the score. I agree with all of that. Let's get Troy back in action here. But Troy, I finished that sentence for you when you were saying that you had no idea it'd be this dramatic. I mean, who would have thought it'd be this extreme? I wasn't sure which word you used, but I knew exactly what you were talking about. So I was just saying while you were gone that if you want the Giants, if you want to go up against public, which I get, wait, because everybody and their mom is going to be on the Dolphins. And then I agree with the under. I really do.
Yeah, and I think that this Dolphins team, this defense specifically, is a little bit untested. I mean, look what happened against the Bills. The Broncos had some success versus them. The Chargers destroyed that defense, and the Patriots are the Patriots. They're not very good, so can't expect much out of them. The problem is, I want to look towards the Giants. It's just so hard. They got rookie cornerbacks that are going to be guarding the best receivers in the NFL. And this Miami team, I just love their offensive scheme. McDaniel, I mean, what he's doing is awesome. RPO on 20% of dropbacks, play action on 17% of dropbacks. And he has this short motion. I call it a short motion where he motions a slot receiver to the outside. And he's the pioneer. He's a pioneer for real, because you never seen that. Now you see all teams using that after he put that on display in weeks 1 and 2. I have no action in this game.
I'm going to be looking very closely at the under. I love the idea of the under. I don't want to get it too early. So, I'm going to be, but I love the idea here. So let's keep rolling.